and I will share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you. I will edit that out. Let me give it a few seconds of space. I know where to edit. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Argo Scholar Commons. My name is Cindy Gruwell. I'm one of the librarians and coordinator of scholarly communication here at the University Library. Today we're going to talk about Argo Scholar Commons, what it is, the benefits, and how to get started. The University Libraries host the Argo Scholar Commons. It's a research portal and institutional repository providing a permanent digital showcase of research, scholarship, and creativity of faculty, students, and staff of the UWF community. This is a image of our commons, and I'm going to take us in there briefly before I go on to some other topics and just give you a bit of a preview. So here is the Scholar Commons. You'll see a number of links and images on the page, starting with going to scholarship, people, academic units, and research collections. There's a number of ways to access information. Depending on what you're looking for, you can also search up here in the box for scholarship or people. In addition, very often you might want to go to academic units, and here you can look by researcher profile or scholarship and publication. So if I were just to click on, let's say, College of Business, and we'll pick on Dr. Krieger, I can see his profile here, and his scholarship output would be up here. Depending on the individual, there may be other links in here to things like grants and activities. It depends on how you end up editing and building your profile. Also on this page are links to the Office of Research and Administration and Engagement and the Office of Undergraduate Research. We've been working with both of them as we've been building this product. And we also got support from student funding to help build the profiles. You'll see a group of researchers that we have here. And then below are featured collections. We have a number of collections that you can see here. Or if you went to browse more collections, you would see them all listed here in detail. This includes the Student Scholar Symposium that we have every spring. Below that is we have links to the Historic Trust and our archives. And then we have a little bit of stat-like information. Our top 10 articles or resources that have just been recently uploaded to the Commons, our most downloaded, and the most viewed. Along with that, below that, we have a map of the world, and that reflects some of the high points of user use across the world. And then below, we have the general metrics of the repository. We have 2,957 works. We've had well over 123,000 views and 5,200 downloads. So I'm going to go back to my presentation and we'll come back to the page. So what are the benefits? Well, there are two components basically that make up the Commons. Profiles, which are researcher profiles, which provide information about faculty, their research and scholarly works. and the repository side, which is an online place where the community gathers and preserves scholarly output from our faculty, students, and staff. The benefits of those in relation to profiles is increased visibility, personally managing your own profile, increased citation and recognition, and the ability to assist with research collaboration and finding other researchers with similar interests that might want to collaborate on works. The scholarship side, we showcase your research. It's long-term preservation. These are permanent digital resources that the URLs won't be changing as they do with some things. It meets compliance with funding requirements. So if you need to post a report or your article or your data, we have the capability of doing that. And then there are usage statistics and altmetrics. So getting started. Essentially, there are 5 steps to getting started. It starts here, and I'll come back to this in a moment, with the Argo Scholar Commons authorization guide. Then we activate your profile. Now, some of you would be already activated because you're already in the Commons. If you're not, this is when we would activate that. You'll be able to log in and then edit your profile and add content. So if we go back here, this link takes us to the guide that we have for the Commons. You can find this on the library's homepage by going to Research Guides, Faculty, and then you'll see a list in Argo Scholar Commons will be here. There's some general information, and then there's a link to our policy. We have a pretty detailed policy that will go over the types of things we collect, how we collect them, what you need to do, and some other important points. There's the Argo Scholar Commons FAQs. And then the important link is how to contribute. This has information on contribution, the types of resources or items that you can upload. And then there's a link to the Argo Scholar Commons authorization page. And you would read through this, provide us with the information we're asking for. And once this is done, then you would be activated. So this is an example of a profile. This is developed by the company that creates this software. And I'm going to go ahead, whoops, back. And go into, so this is an example of what you could possibly do with your profile. It's typical to have expertise in bio at the top. You might have links, honors, organizations and affiliations, and then highlight output and education. And then up here, we call this scholarship, but this would be the output, the scholarship that this individual has. And you see it's a variety, publications, conferences, creative works, and such. Now here they have grants listed under awards. In our case, we call this grants. And then there's media mentions, projects, and activities. Activities are interesting because that might include everything from information about the courses you teach to community work that you do. It's quite diverse in what you'll allowed to put in here. I'll give you an example of, get to our, I'm going to go back and go to Dr. Sutton's profile so that you can take a look at what she's done. Her bio and expertise is at the top, honors, organization affiliations, that's usually your department, and your education. You'll notice that there's a link for scholarships. She has 57 items in here, 50 of which are publications, 7 of which are conferences or events. This might include posters. Some of these items may be open access. Some of them would be items that we subscribe to. Either way, you can go in and take a look. If it's a link of an item that we subscribe to, you may see a link to it. Otherwise, you might see full text available because we have either a copy of the article or a accepted manuscript. We do ask that you provide us with accepted manuscripts when it's not an open access article, because that's our way of sharing it with the world. You'll see the metrics area here. In this case, this has had 7 file downloads, 86 record reviews, and this is the alt metrics. Alt metrics is how you are viewed on the internet, what might be happening with your work. In this case, we see tweeted by 2, mentioned in 1, and 85 readers on Mendeley. The 85 readers on Mendeley is when people look at articles and then download them to a citation management software. People are looking at the articles and it keeps a record of that. If you go into the alt metrics, also you will see in this case there are 51 dimensions. And what that means is that this particular article has been cited 51 times. Once you sign in, as I did, you will be taken into your profile. Again, you'll see those sections that I have already set up. I can edit my profile and go in and change any of these, add items. And that goes for each: the about, affiliations, communications, if I need to make any changes. And you can add researcher proxies. If you have a grad student or an admin in your area and you're asking them to do this work for you, you can add a proxy so that they can come in and do that work. Once your profile is set up, then what we would hope you would do is add content, and that is over here in the right-hand corner. And you see it falls under scholarship, project, or activity. When you click on one of these, it's going to prompt you for information. What type of asset? Okay, I'm doing a poster. And then it'll ask me for my title, and then I can add my file, and it'll walk you through each step where it asks for additional information. Once you complete that, that goes to Andy Johnson, our the Commons manager, and she will look over that information and approve it. If she has questions, of course, she will get back to you. This is what I'm covering today. I hope it's been helpful. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact myself or Andy Johnson with any questions you have. Thank you.